following program comes to you in color from Hollywood. The heart of the entertainment world. The Hollywood Palace. With your host, Donald O'Connor. Tonight, Sid Caesar, Rudy Cardenas, Don Ho and the Ali, Shari Lewis, Ted Lewis, Marilyn Maye, Melvin, titulares of the Hollywood Palace Orchestra. We'll return to the Hollywood Palace after a word from one of our sponsors.
When someone has a cold or flu, a get well picture works wonders for the spirit. For the fever, you want the strongest fever fighter you can buy, aspirin. Get Bayer aspirin because Bayer is 100% aspirin, and aspirin is the strongest fever fighter you can buy. You'll see, a get well picture and Bayer aspirin, they work wonders.
Here's an important word from Bayer in case the flu epidemic hits your home. When the flu strikes, doctors and public health officials urge you to follow these 3 steps. Rest in bed, drink plenty of fluids, and take aspirin to reduce the fever and relieve the aches. So get Bayer aspirin now. Bayer is 100% aspirin, the world's best aspirin. And aspirin is what doctors and public health officials recommend. For the pains and fever of a cold or flu, Bayer works wonders.
And now, from the Hollywood Palace, here is your host, one of America's great entertainers, Donald O'Connor!
There's the kind of walk you walk when you feel like crowing. There's the kind of walk you walk when you're on your way. There's the kind of walk you walk when your pride is showing. There's the kind of walk you walk when today's your day. There's the kind of walk you walk when the world's all rainbows. That's very much like walking on a cloud. Good fortune found you, chappie, and your life's a happy Valentine. You're walking happy. Don't the bloomin' world seem fine? Don't the bloomin' world seem fine? Don't the bloomin' world seem fine? Fortune found you, chappie, and your life's a happy Valentine. When you're walking happy, 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 don't the world seem
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that a great song? You know, it's from the new Sammy Cahn and Jimmy Van Heusen Broadway show, Walking Happy. And remember that other wonderful song, Walking My Baby Back Home? Well, you know, everybody drives today. Nobody walks their baby back home, except Georgie Jessel. But you know, even kids don't walk anymore. Have you seen that commercial where the little boy says to his mother, "Mommy, I'm going to run away from home"? And the mother says, "Go ahead." And the kid says, "Well, aren't you going to drive me?" And the other day, I saw a Texas oil millionaire. He got out of his car, you know, and he walked into his hotel, and he was carrying his 21-year-old son. And the doorman said, "Well, can't he walk?" And the millionaire said, he sure can, but thank heavens he'll never have to. Yes, I thought that was interesting. You know, ladies and gentlemen, the great Sid Caesar, Shari Lewis, and Marilyn Maye will be out in a few moments. And Hawaii's famous Don Ho, Ted Lewis, and Bob Melvin will be out just a little bit later. But right now, let's welcome the world's greatest juggler, the sensational Rudy Cardenas. Isn't he marvelous? You know, I'm going to use him as my accountant next year. The way he can juggle, you know. You know, to get to the top in the field of popular singing, you got to have style. And this next charming girl has plenty of it, plus one of the best voices to come along in years. Ladies and gentlemen, Marilyn Maye.
On the road I saw before me a boy innocent world. You can't ignore me. I've got a song that longs to be played. Raise up my flag, begin my parade. Watch the world over, start coming up clover. That's how it's gonna be. You'll see. You're gonna hear from me. What good is sitting alone in your room? Come hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Put down the knitting, the book and the broom. Time for a holiday. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Come taste the wine. Come hear the band. Come blow the horn. Start celebrating. Right this way, your table's waiting. No use for betting. Some prophet of doom to wipe every smile away. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Come taste the wine. Come hear the band. Come blow the horn. Start celebrating. Right this way, your table's waiting. No use permitting some prophet of doom to wipe every smile away. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Only a cabaret, old chum. So come to the
It's open.
Genius at work.
Almost finished. As soon as I figure out what to do with the extra parts.
That looks okay to me. Cigarette?
Raleigh filters. That's my cigarette.
Well, I tried yours last week, and they tasted better than mine.
Well, they're sure mild enough.
Say, do you save the coupons?
Lois got this stroller with him.
Come to Raleigh Filters. Come to good taste. And remember, famous Raleigh coupons also come on light menthol Bel Air.
Bel Air tastes light, cause the menthol's right. Bel Air tastes light, cause the menthol's right. Just the right touch of menthol with a white filter too.
You get a special kind of lightness when you smoke Bel Air. Special because the menthol's right.
We're in for a real comedy treat in the Hollywood Palace tonight because that great guy and terrific comedian, Sid Caesar, is going to bring us the latest adventure of his famous suburban couple, the Bob Jordans. And here's Sid with Joyce Jameson, Mickey Deems, Maura McGivney, and Cindy Hunter in the new white rug.
Well, that's it, lady.
Oh, it's beautiful, just beautiful. You did a wonderful job.
Well, I want to wish you a lot of luck with your new rug.
Oh, thank you very much.
Bye.
Oh, isn't it beautiful, our new white, thick rug. Oh, I'll do it. I will do it. Yes, sirree. Oh. The most beautiful rug in the world is our new rug. Oh,
here. Boy.
It's here, our new rug.
The new rug finally came. We waited for 6 months. Boy, what, is it a real one?
It's a genuine Himalayan nanny goat rug.
A genuine Himalayan nanny goat.
Yes.
Well, if you want the best, you got to get the Himalayan nanny. Boy, just imagine, six months ago, this rug was walking around the side of a mountain, and now it's in our
do you want a thrill? I mean, do you really want
to
a
walk
thrill?
around? Yeah.
Oh, I've tried it. You've got to try it. Take off your shoes and go.
Where are we going to go? Oh, gee. Hey. Oh, boy. Somebody kiss me. Oh, it's like walking on yogurt. Oh.
Bob, I've got to ask you one question.
Yeah.
Are you really happy with what I've done to the house?
Sweetheart, you did a wonderful job. You absolutely, just one line. I know it was a lot of work. Thank you very much.
And you're not sorry that we spent all that money?
Honey, what's money for unless to be sorry that you spent it?
Listen, I was so excited to show the house off. I called Fred and George and the girls, and they're coming over.
Hey, that's a wonderful idea. You know, sweetheart, we can enjoy the house because we see it, day by day and day by day. But it's the real enjoyment is when your friends come over. When your friends come over and they see the house, and then you can really enjoy it. Boy, I just missed the rain.
Yeah.
Just made it.
Just
Imagine
made it.
if I didn't know the new rug was here, I could have walked right in with the mud across the lawn and right in here. They're coming. They're coming.
They're coming, all
They're
right.
coming. What'll we do, sweetie?
Listen, we've got to be very diplomatic
We'll
about
be
it.
diplomatic.
And very gently tell them to be aware of the rug.
We'll be very snide.
Oh, you're the snidest.
We'll snide 'em up.
You're the most darling snide I've ever known.
They're here. They're here.
Yes, okay.
Just be very
Very
snide.
careful,
very
very,
careful.
and don't let them
Don't let them get on the rug.
rug.
That's it.
Hiya, Bob. How are you? Boy, it's really raining out, isn't it? Huh?
Yeah. Just it. There's the new rug.
Hey, look at that!
It's a new rug. Why don't you take your raincoat off?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was in such a hurry to come over. We were so anxious about it. Boy, look at... Bob, are you gonna carry me around like this all evening?
No, I just want to make sure you don't want to wet the rug, you know what I mean?
Oh, I see, but I'm not wet. We drove to the door.
Oh, you did?
The gift, honey,
the gift?
We brought you a little something for the house.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
You shouldn't have done that.
You shouldn't have done that.
Oh, you shouldn't. Oh, you really shouldn't have done that. Oh, you shouldn't have. I mean, I didn't invite you over to just to get a present like that.
Well, we thought you'd like it because of the way you always stare at it at our house.
It is an eye catcher, I'll say that.
We knew you wanted it, so we brought it, and we have just the place for it.
Oh.
We picked right there.
Right there, perfect.
Later.
Oh, that must be George and Betty. I'll go and get it. Would you mind us keep them off the rugs?
Yes.
Here we are.
I'm
Come on,
sorry I'm late.
That's all right.
George is parking the car. Oh, isn't it beautiful?
Yes. It's a new rug. It's all wet. You
Oh,
wipe
I
your
know
feet.
how you feel.
Sure.
We'll
Sweetheart, you take Betty inside. I'll wait here for George because I know how he likes to barge in. I want to stop him if he comes in.
Hiya, gang. I came in the back way. I'm sorry I'm late, but it's raining cats and dogs.
Oh, I know, we were in it too.
Oh, this is beautiful.
George?
It's beautiful. Oh, hiya, Bob.
George, your wedding is dripping. You're dripping wet. You're wetting and dripping.
Oh,
on
I'm
your
sorry.
rug.
I'm sorry,
That's
Bob.
all right. Take his wet drippings.
Thank you.
Yeah, and take the dripping wet. That's good.
Come on, girls, I'll show you the bed.
Right.
Oh, I just...
Well, how do you like the house?
Bob, I love this house. I really do. I
Yes?
just love it.
Fine.
I tell you, you know what?
Now wait until you feel this rug. Oh, boy, feel this rug, huh?
That's great. Fred, you don't have to rub your feet so, do you? I mean, it's a new rug, you know what I mean?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
I'll get rid of it.
No, that's $15 a yard. I'll reel that back in. Don't worry about that.
Bob, you did a wonderful job with this house. You know what he did? He took all his money out of the bank and put it where you can see it. Isn't that beautiful?
George, a cigar?
What?
A cigar.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have another cigar.
Well, you know what I always say? I always say that when a man has money, the first thing he should do is put it where he can enjoy it. If he can't...
Fred, can I see that pencil a moment, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. There. Oh, just like I thought. Lead in the middle. There we are.
But you know, really, as I was saying before, I don't believe in that, you see. So you can put it here where you can see it.
George, your cigar.
I don't have another cigar, Bob.
I tell you, George, if a man doesn't enjoy his home, a man isn't going to enjoy anything, I tell you.
Frank, you don't have to sit there, do you? You can sit down nice, perfect. Sure. That's it.
And you know, one other thing.
Yeah, why not?
Honey, would you like some coffee?
Coffee, that's a good idea. Yes, we should have coffee.
Shall I pour it here in the living room?
No. Let's have coffee later. In the garage.
In the garage, Bob?
Yeah, you see, don't want to pour coffee here. It's a brand new rug, you know what I mean?
Wait a minute. We've been terribly inconsiderate. Here we've been traipsing all over his brand new rug, and I came in a wet raincoat and everything. Yeah. Hey, I've got a wonderful idea. Let's all take off our shoes.
Great idea. Wonderful idea. Oh, boy!
Oh, this is wonderful. Oh, it's so springy.
That's not gonna come out, you know. That's the dye from a cheap pair of socks.
Gee, Bob, I'm awfully sorry. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Well, what can you say except that you'll get better socks?
Well, I'll tell you what must have happened. You see, when I stepped in that puddle, and when the water must have squished over onto the socks, you see, and... Well, I really don't know what to say.
Well, there's nothing you can say. I mean, you didn't do it on purpose.
Of course not.
Of course not. I mean, it was an accident. And accidents happen, you know. It's an accident. You didn't do it on purpose. And look, let's not let this spoil our celebration for the new decoration of the house. I promised you each a glass of champagne tonight for the celebration. Sweetheart, is the champagne in the refrigerator?
Yes, it is, dear.
Thank you. Would you excuse me, please? What? Excuse me? What?
Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
Why don't you get me better socks?
Well, I thought he took it awfully well.
Oh, I did, too.
That stupid idiot! Walking all about my Himalayan nanny-goat rug. A 5-cent pair of cheap socks. I'll get his rug. I'll get his rug. It's a rug for a rug. I'll get
it. Champagne gang? Oh, Fred, I'm afraid we'll have to dye our rug the color of your cheap socks. So if you don't mind, we'd like you to leave your cheap socks here so we can match it to the rug, all right?
Oh, sure, Bob. That's the least I can do.
Beautiful woman, isn't she? Know what? She wears dentures, but she treats them like teeth, because to her, her dentures are her teeth. She wouldn't soak her dentures. First of all, she wouldn't part with her teeth for that long. She brushes with denture cream. It's faster, easier than soaking, sure. But best of all, denture cream out-cleans a soak. I'll show you. We soaked that heavy lipstick stain. Soaked it all night in the leading tablet cleanser, and look. Even with soaking and vigorous brushing, that denture material is still stained. Now denture cream, the powerful toothpaste made for dentures. Denture cream scrubs, brushes, polishes dentures clean. Does it all, 1, 2, 3. See? Denture cream does outclean the silk. And it leaves your mouth toothpaste fresh. Are your dentures your teeth? Then treat them like teeth.
When I appeared with Shari Lewis in Las Vegas recently, she taught me the fine art of ventriloquism. And tonight I'd like to demonstrate my ability to throw my voice. And to do so, I borrowed Shari's famous little character, Lambchop. And here she is. Hiya, Lambchop.
Oh, hello, Mr. O'Donnell.
No, O'Connor.
O'Connor.
All right.
Stupid.
You know, Lambchop, we'd make a great combination. How about you and me teaming up, huh?
I would never do that. I couldn't leave Shari. She's beautiful. She's witty. She's talented. She's charming.
Oh, really? And what else?
She's working my mouth.
You know, Lambchop, you're right about every one of those things. And I've got a surprise for you.
What?
Well, Shari's going to sing and dance in the Hollywood Palace tonight, all right?
All right.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Shari Lewis.
Since I was a child, I've lived with a world of puppets. And yet, throughout my childhood, I must say, I never, ever had the slightest inkling that I'd be doing what I do today. For though I dearly love that world of puppets, if the plain and simple truth be known, I had one burning ambition, and I live for that, and that alone. I just wanted to dance with Fred Astaire. In my dreams, I'd see Fred Astaire beside me, and then we'd both of us whirl around the floor with the gentle touch of his hand to guide me. More than Mama had hoped, my hair would curl. More than Papa had hoped for the Brooklyn Dodgers. I kept hoping that Fred would call and say he was having trouble with Ginger Rogers. Whee! Oh, then I knew someday we'd be together, trying out some tricky Latin rhythm. And the next time he flew down to Rio by the sea, oh, he would take me out with him. When his movies were at the RKO, in the children's section, I'd sit and stare at the man whom I knew. I had lost my heart too. I just wanted to dance. Oh, I wanted my chance. I just wanted to dance.
Hawaii's most famous entertainer, Don Ho, and one of the greatest names of all time, Ted Lewis, and the bright comedy star Bob Melvin are waiting to go on in the second half of tonight's Hollywood Palace. So don't miss them. We'll be right back. Bob Melvin is a comedian who's been rolling them in the aisles all over the USA. And tonight he's making his first appearance in the Hollywood Palace. Let's give him a palace welcome. Mr. Bob Melvin.
Thank you. Good evening. And before I go any further, I must admit, I do not know Donald O'Connor's age either. I mean, he's puzzling. He looks so young and brilliant. And the thing is, when I was a kid, I used to go to the movies to see him on the screen. What puzzles me is, when did I pass him? How did I get older? And I found out a secret. Every week he goes through the time tunnel. But he must be a wonderful guy. He always has friends around him. And I envy a man who has friends. I don't really have too many friends. Maybe it's the act. And I really try. I live in an apartment house for 15 years, and I don't know the people who live next door to me. And I try to be friendly with them. Hey, they're my wife's parents. And my wife keeps insisting we must have friends. And I said, why? She came up with a great answer. Because we're married 15 years, I don't want to go out alone with you. If we go out alone, what are we going to talk about? I said, why don't you wait till we get there? Maybe I'll pick up a girl and you'll talk to her. And when you finally get them out of the house, there isn't a husband here that hasn't gone through this quiz. All right, you're out of the house. What do you want to do? Whatever the majority wants to do. I said, what majority? There are just two of us. I said, come on, we'll go to the movie. I didn't get all dressed up to sit in the movie. I said, okay, we'll go visiting. I didn't get all dressed up to sit in someone's house. I said, okay, we'll go night clubbing. I'm not dressed. And please don't fret. I mentioned my wife. I don't intend to stand up here like many comics and make fun of married life. I do not make fun of it. I find no humor in it. Because which one of my... Have you got a minute? Which one of my contemporaries, my fellow husbands in this audience, will tell me he's the man his grandpa was? That's when men were men. And when did Grandma ever bug Grandpa the way our women upset us? Grandma used to give birth. 15 minutes later, she had dinner ready for 33 people. Now, did you ever see the young bride when she comes home from the doctor? First visit after being married, approximately 1 year. This is the way she walks into the home. It's like Twilight Zone. The doctor told me to rest. I needed this big-mouthed doctor to tell her to lay in bed till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you're daddy, you've gone through this experience. Oh, Bob, will you help me get comfortable? Will you put the pillows in back of me? Would you put the television set over there? May I have my cigarettes? Do you still love me? Yep. And it's nothing definite. Nobody's heard from the rabbit yet. It has all changed. You remember the way Grandma used to clean? She used to get on her hands and knees. She cleaned. Last time I saw my wife on her hands and knees, she was looking for an earring. I love the way the women clean today. Leotards, high heels, and a vacuum cleaner. Did you ever get that? They don't move the dust. They model for it. And I don't care what your background was. You remember Grandma with the way she cooked? She used to get up 6 in the morning to cook. Now a woman needs 15, 20 minutes in the kitchen to prepare food. Actually, 75% of the food's dehydrated. All you have to do is open the can, take the content, and just add water. Although the first 3 months I was married, my wife never got these instructions correct. She gave me dehydrated food dry. You laugh, I ate it that way. No water in a lump. Then one night, I got caught in the rain, put on 110 pounds. I don't make this up. Pick up a leading magazine without mentioning a name. They have an article. These are statistics released by the Department of Commerce proving in 80% of the married couples, the women handle the monies. Don't you realize this is the reason our women are so secure? In everyday language, this... Have you got a minute? This means 4 or 5 women sitting here right now and across the nation have at least 3 bank books. And you don't have to be rich to have 3 bank books. One's called the Christmas Club. Anybody can have a Christmas Club for a quarter a week. Now, the second bank book, and this is why it's going to get very quiet in any room that a couple is watching this particular show. Because the wife is in business for herself. The second bank book, the husband's not supposed to know anything about. You could be married 28 years, her mother's still telling her, put it away, you never know. Put it away, you never know. And the last bank book you're all familiar with. It's called the joint account. The joint account. Her married name and her maiden name. And if you're still not convinced, I'll give you the perfect topic. Grandma used to wash her hair. There isn't a person here that forgets this. She used to go under the faucet with vinegar, hot soap. Today, what woman does that? They go to a beauty parlor. And they get to that beauty parlor, and no one's going to stop them, including the husband. If they have a beauty parlor appointment, they go over the husband like a tank. When they get into that beauty parlor, that's their world. And they sit under that dryer. You ever see the way they sit under there? Cotton in the air, dry down here, and they talk to one another. They don't hear one word, but they talk to one another. They sit under this monstrous thing for 1 hour, 100 degrees, sit, burn. Then they walk into the kitchen. The small pot light's on. I can't cook. It's too hot. And is there anything funny than when a woman leaves a beauty parlor, she doesn't see where she's walking as long as she walks with the wind? Oh, there is something funny. It's the way she gets dressed that night to protect the new hairdo. She puts a kerchief over her new hairdo, wiggles into the dress. And with the dress half on, she turns her back to the husband and utters these immortal words. What are they? Zip me up. How true. Putting 10 pounds of meat in a 2-pound bag. And if you ever fumble with that little zipper, she'll ask you the funniest question in the world. Don't you know how to use a zipper? Hey, you are a good audience. And let's face facts. No performer could do a good show without a good audience. And you can't do a bad show because of a bad audience. Therefore, while you were judging me, I was judging you. You reached your decision, and I reached mine. So before I go, as I do with every audience, I like to give you a rating. And 65% is the passing mark. And I like to give this audience a rating of... Can you feel the tension? 82. That's very good. I really mean it. I wish it could have been more, but let's face facts, ladies and gentlemen. When I first walked out, you recall your reaction? I mean, you weren't too thrilled. In fact, a good many went, who's this? And you lost 5 points right there. That took you down to 95. Then I started to do my act, and because this is my first appearance on the Hollywood Palace, I did not break in any new material. Every joke I did was tested and proven. And you did miss a few jokes. What I'm trying to say is the jokes were right, you were wrong. You lost 10 points that way, which took you down to 85. Then if you recall, I asked this audience twice, have you got a minute? And the first time I asked, I overheard somebody say, no. They're being a wise guy. They had no idea, but that big mouth cost this crowd 3 points. That's how you got down to 82. I'm going to leave now with an 82. As I walk off, though, if the applause is loud enough and strong enough, you may get a better mark. Not too bad. You're an 89.
Out in Orondo, Washington, the Orvilles grow big, juicy apples. They didn't know it, but some of their apples go into our apples and cinnamon instant Quaker oatmeal. And we thought it would be nice to know what the people who grow our apples think of our oatmeal. So we're making them some, right here in their orchard. Add boiling water, stir, and taste. Apples and cinnamon instant Quaker oatmeal. The Orvilles never tasted anything like it. You haven't either.
Aunt Jemima waffles without her syrup is like the spring without the fall.
Aunt Jemima frozen toaster waffles deserve only the best. Real Aunt Jemima syrup.
Aunt Jemima waffles right from the toaster, crispy hot and tender light. Let's have a couple more and keep her syrup pouring. That's the way to treat a man right.
Hawaii's #1 entertainer, the hottest thing in the island since volcanoes, is with us in the Hollywood Palace. So let's say hi to Ho. Don Ho and the Andes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You've all heard of Waikiki. Waikiki is the most fabulous, nice spot in all of Hawaii for nightlife and activity. But I'm from the country, where the simple folks are from. Ever since I was a little boy, we always sang, and we always sing together. Now, the old beat we have is an old Hawaiian beat. It goes like this. nice Hawaiian tradition.
Pearly shells
From the ocean, shining in the sun, covering the shore, when you see them,
when I see them,
my heart tells me I love you more than all those little pearly shells. That was the great old song from the old days. But today, things have changed quite a bit. The beat has moved up a little bit. Hawaii is very progressive and modern and up to date, even though it's still paradise. And the music sounds something like this now. Pay attention, we're going to sing together, okay? Tiny bubble in the wine, make me happy. Lawrence, make me feel fine. Tiny bubble, make me warm all over. With a feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end of time. So here's to the golden moon. Here's to the silver sea, but mostly here's a toast to you and me. Repeat after me now, everybody. Tiny bubble,
tiny bubble
in the wine, make me happy, make me feel fine, tiny bubble, make me warm all over. With a feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end of time. When you sing tiny, I'll answer back. Tiny, tiny bubble, oh, I'll live in the wine. Ikabaina, make me happy. Oh, holy, make me feel fine. Ikaba, oh, inu, tiny bubble, make me warm all over. With a feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end of time. With a feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end of time.
When you're upset, tense, nerves snap, and each mounting pressure may start the flow of excess acid in your stomach. Result, acid indigestion.
It's turning blue. Right. Those bubbles scrub away its stain and odor, and when the blue disappears, your dentures are cleaned. I'll get some. Bye. Over here. Tried your tablet. Like it? I'm back on blueberry pie.
Efferdent removes even stubborn stains between the teeth.
I was about 3 years old when I first appeared on the bill with the great Ted Lewis. And you can imagine what a thrill it was. Well, it's no less of a thrill tonight, because once again I'm appearing on the bill with this wonderful star. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ted Lewis. Ted, it's so wonderful seeing you again.
And you know, Donald, I'm very happy to be here. And I want to tell everybody all about you. You know, you're just like an old timer. The first time I saw you was with your family. You played on a bill with me in the late 20s in San Francisco at the old Orpheum Theater.
Yeah.
And I've been watching your career ever since, all through motion pictures, theaters, nightclubs. And Donald, I want to say that you've been in this business a long time. In fact, so long that people will think 10 years from now that you're 80 years old.
Yeah, well, I am.
I've known you ever since you were just a little shaver.
Yes.
And that's what I want to tell the folks all about here tonight.
Okay, Ted. Well, listen, we're all ready to listen. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ted Lewis.
You know, folks, in my profession, I mean people on the stage, we're often criticized for things we do. They say we just spend our money like a lot of silly fools and wind up behind the 8-ball when we're through. I know it's come back to me, and I've heard it said myself. Now, that guy Lewis, boy, is he getting up in age. And they'd really like to know if I have anything to show for all the years that I've put in on the stage. Well, I'm not in Dun & Bradstreet, but believe me, I'm okay. And I'll never want for anything with what I put away. Folks, I've got a million wonderful, wonderful memories. And each little memory, it's locked safely down deep in my heart. No, I've got a vault full of laughs and a bank that's so chock full of cheer. And I can write a check for them any day in the year. And I've got a million dreams that, oh, they're so beautiful. The kind of dreams, you know, that never, never can escape. So look at me. Look at me, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me honestly, can't you see? I'm in a wonderful shape. Yeah. And you know something? Do you know that I could quit tomorrow if I felt inclined that way? I can hang up my old high hat and take a bow. And if I lived to be 100, I could never count the joys that I've accumulated up to now. I'd have to start in Circleville, Ohio. That's my hometown. That's where I entertained at parties as a kid. And oh, the laughs we used to get with our neighbor, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, folks, that's the gentleman who taught me how to twirl my lid. And those good old days in vaudeville, those midnight jamborees, no money half the time, the other half it just grew on trees. And oh, the different songs that I sang and played, I never will forget. Each song a beautiful memory of some pretty little girl that I met. And the autographs I signed for kings, and when I didn't have a buck, the little guys who helped me out, and the shills who brought me luck, and the headline acts who helped me with every little trick they could, and you folks, yes, you wonderful folks who kept applauding when I wasn't quite that good. Oh, well, I have no reason to complain. I have had my share of sunshine, and if it ever starts to rain, why, I've got a million dreams that are so beautiful. And each dream is planted safely here in my memory. I'm blessed with a lot, ladies and gentlemen, because the kind of things that I've got, they're the things that no one can ever take away from me. Is everybody happy? Yes,
You know, we're not going to let you get away without doing your great number, Me and My Shadow.
The Me and My Shadow?
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, I've got something new to Me and My Shadow.
Yeah?
I'm going to do the shadow rock and roll, and you've got to be my shadow. Now, you just do what? Come right over here now.
Is this your best
Now,
side?
get yourself a hi-hat.
A hi-hat, okay.
A hi-hat.
Thank you, sir. I got it.
Now, you take the hat like this.
Yes.
You put it on your head like so.
Yeah.
You take your arm out like that. You start the music. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When me and my shadow ride, when me and my shadow roll down the avenue, when me and my shadow ride,
Recommended. Sunday nights. Land of the Giants. Recommended. Sunday.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You've been a wonderful, wonderful audience. It's the kind of walk you walk when the world's all rainbows. And that's exactly how I feel tonight. I feel so bright and snappy, knowing that tonight was so much fun. Still I'm walking happy, even though it's sad we're done.
I hope you'll save a jigger or two of champagne from your New Year's tippling to celebrate the 6th anniversary of the Hollywood Palace next Saturday night. Oh, we're going to have quite a bash on the Hollywood Palace. I'm going to be there with Judy Carn. We have Bobby Gentry, Stu Gillum, and we'll be tiptoeing through the tulips with Tiny Tim in the flesh and fantasy. As an added attraction, the famous columnist Earl Wilson is going to inaugurate and present awards for the first Show Business Hall of Fame, plus a very, very important surprise guest. So, Happy New Year, and I'll see you Saturday, January the 4th, at the anniversary party for the Hollywood Palace.
This is Bob Sharon America Hope, inviting you to do something good for your country by buying United States savings bonds. Not only good for your country, they're good for you. A great way to save for those important things in your future, like a new home, college for your children, or a more comfortable retirement. Right now, it happens bonds have a special job to do, backing up our men in Vietnam. I've been there, and I can tell you the guys are doing their share. Not only fighting the war, but helping to pay for it with their bond purchases. So how about us? Looks like the least we can do to help. President Johnson calls buying savings bonds the most important investment any American can make. I can't top that. So I'll just say buy bonds where you work or bank. Thanks.